everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about my scanner that I use for my watercolor artwork. Of course, you can scan in all sorts of artwork. It doesn't have to be particularly watercolor, but I specifically do a lot of watercolor artwork, and I'm going to show you the scanner I use and some of its settings. I want to talk really quick about why a good scanner is important. When I first started, I was using a combo printer scanner and the quality was pretty bad, and that definitely will affect your artwork. So a reason that you need a scanner if you are planning on having your artwork be digitized, so that's removing the paper background and having it live on things like if you want to make patterns or stationery. I wouldn't be able to make all the stuff that I make, or even doing Instagram posts where you want to edit something in Photoshop. You need to digitize your artwork. So you're not able to really do this unless you have a scanner. Now, one caveat, you can just, most phones now, smartphones, iPhones, the pictures that they take are really high quality. So you are able to do it that way if you want. You just have to make sure that the lighting is really good and there's no shadows over your artwork, and you can take a picture and you can bring it into your computer and digitize it that way. However, if you're serious about being a watercolor artist and having your artwork live on clothing or cookware, or you want it on stationery, you really do need to have, I believe, you need to have a good scanner. So today I'm going to talk to you about my scanner. My scanner is the V600. It's Epson. It's fantastic. It is a separate scanner. It's not a printer. It is just solely a scanner. And I've had this one for almost, I think, 5 years now. It's fantastic. I love it so much. I would not be able to do my job without it. So I'm going to show you some features about my scanner real quick. I have opened up my scanner interface here. And as you can see, I have some artwork that I have previewed here. So I haven't scanned just yet. Of course, if you don't have this exact same scanner, your setup is going to look differently. So I am just explaining to you the scanner that I use because I've found it to be the perfect one for me. I also like this scanner because you could spend an incredible amount of money on a scanner. And if you have that money, fantastic. But this scanner is usually about $200 to $300, at least when I bought it, it was. And it has worked amazing for me. So you don't have to go crazy and spend thousands of dollars. You can spend a couple hundred and get a really quality scanner. If you are working with the Epson Perfection V600, this is what your little preview window is going to look like. I love to hit preview so I can see what I'm looking at. The colors actually look fantastic right now. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes it doesn't pick up the colors perfectly, but there's a couple of things that you can do over here. The first thing is you want to make sure that it's on color. You could do auto, but I like to do color. And then another reason I really love having a scanner is because you can choose the DPI. You never want your DPI to go below 300, so just keep that in mind. It does have these options, but you don't want to use those, especially if you're scanning an artwork to be used on some type of product. So you always want to do 300 or above. But with an iPhone, if you take a picture, you don't have an option to pick what DPI you have. It'll definitely be high resolution, but you can't select like 1200 DPI. Now, reasons that I would select a higher DPI, if I want to make the artwork larger than it was when I painted it, I will select a higher DPI. Sometimes I'll go to 600. Sometimes I'll even go to 1200 if I'm doing a pattern that I think might be blown up large, or a piece of artwork that's going to be on a sign. I scan higher, that way I can expand the artwork more. And there's also advanced settings. These are kind of cool. The color, like I said, is basically perfect right now, but if you want to adjust the color here, this is a great way to get your colors as close as possible before you have to bring this into Photoshop and edit it. And just so you know, I will have another YouTube tutorial following this one about how to adjust your colors in Photoshop. But you can play with the contrast, the gamma. This is a really nice feature because you're able to do a little editing before you get in there. This unsharp mask, definitely recommend having that on because you can see it makes it nice and clear. You want your artwork to be as clear and precise as possible. I never use these remove background, but if you want to test them out, go ahead. I always scan as a JPEG, but if you are working on something that is going to be quite large, I do recommend a TIFF because it's not compressed. And I'm talking like something that's going to be blown up really big. But for the most part, a JPEG does a job just fine. Okay, so this is my scanner. I scan it in. I get to choose where it goes, my desktop. You can also edit the file name if you want. This is my scanner. I love it. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask me in the comments. Also, if you have found another scanner that you love, I'd love to hear about it. I also linked a link to this scanner if you're interested in purchasing it, and I hope this information was helpful.